My name is Scott Anderson, and you've reached my Talking Hands What's on Scott's Mind segment. So, this week, first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about my lost weekend. Why was it a lost weekend? Well, on Saturday, I was unable to connect to BirdBuddy. Now, BirdBuddy is a Wi Fi connected bird camera. I love it. I've been sharing nearly 5 years, 4.5 years. And so, in doing that, in that sharing process, right, I share every day 2 to 3 bird videos, and it matters to me. I love to share bird videos. It's kind of why I got BirdBuddy. I got a second BirdBuddy because the first one got damaged by squirrels, but I managed to sort of kind of repair the first one, so I ended up with 2. So I just started sharing pictures on my Instagram and sharing videos on YouTube. For a while, I was sharing them on TikTok too, but I've really cut back on TikTok down to 1 video a day, and it's not a knock on TikTok in the long run. Actually it is, right? Because come September, TikTok may change pending the purchase agreement and what happens with that. So based on that, I decided to cut back on TikTok. And frankly, I was spending a lot of time on TikTok and I wasn't really enjoying it anymore. I certainly enjoy hanging out with people that I like, and I certainly enjoy sharing ideas with people I like, but it just wasn't getting that feeling from TikTok. But anyway, I was unable to share my BirdBuddy videos because my Wi-Fi network was down. You know, that whole home network that Xfinity advertises, that you are completely and totally bound to them. So I'm going to give you my top 3 complaints about Xfinity, and then I'm going to say something that they do exceptionally well. So number one complaint. The only way you can really connect to Xfinity is via their app, and that's awful. I'll tell you right now, you can never get through to a human being. So that's one. It's annoying. When you do get through to a human being, it takes forever to get there. You run through a bunch of menus, and in the end, effectively, what happens is you waste your time. The other thing is they are really slow to respond. And I get that it's a big company, and I get that I'm one customer, and they have millions of customers, and I get that, right? But let's be realistic. Their response times are horrific. So, number one, you can only connect to them via their app unless you find their 800 number that is buried. Call that number and wait. Number 2, it takes them a long time to do anything, right? So, okay, fair enough. Be it what it is, right? Got to be aware of the reality of what's going on in the world, right? And the last, and probably my biggest complaint right now, is that it is antiquated hardware in many cases for the Xfinity solution. It's not state-of-the-art fiber, right? It's still coax to the house. And coax does still have a few known problems and a few known issues. So just to be aware. By the way, for those of you paying attention at home, a lot of coaxial cables had lead sheathing, which is one of the knocks on most of the copper cabling that has been laid by telecom companies is lead sheathing. Coax is a copper cable, and it has lead sheathing. So just be aware that a lot of those cable companies are going to start having to root up some of their cables because realistically they're lead sheathed, and that's dangerous because if the cable breaks and it rusts, the lead leaks into the water supply and leaks into the groundwater and blah blah blah. Anyway, all of that said, it is it is an interesting situation. So this morning, I had to restart my router again. I restarted it Saturday morning. I unplugged it for an extended time period Saturday, and I restarted it Saturday afternoon. It barely functioned. Sunday, we limped along, able to connect some devices, mostly laptops, because they have stronger Wi-Fi signals. Well, laptops and desktops with stronger Wi-Fi signals were able to connect. Everything else struggled, right? iPhones, iPads, it all struggled. Unfortunate, sad reality, but that's the situation we were in. So I chased Xfinity on Sunday, tried to get them to respond. I did finally talk to them. It just really wasn't an optimal situation for me. So today, what's on Scott's mind is the painful reality of dealing with Xfinity. Now, I did promise one good thing about Xfinity, and I will share that one good thing now. In terms of a platform for entertainment, so if we're just talking, watching TV and watching streaming shows, Xfinity is pretty hard to beat. They're pretty hard to beat. They're pretty good. The system works. It is easy to use. So just to be aware, right? Just to be cognizant, they do have some value proposition, and that value proposition is in their creation of and their support for the various internet television services. So they're great at TV. This is Scott's Mind. Not much, but that's what you get today.